Welcome to episode 7 of Digital Minds and Dark Dreams, a place where we talk about all the goofy things regarding digital world and all the dark sides and light sides of life, work, entrepreneurship, and everything. Anyways, my name is Alicia. I'm an English philologist and a dark dreamer.
I'm Cecilia, and I am the digital nerd of the two.
Yes, even though I'm trying to get there. And today we had a problem with this topic because the topic is that simple, but trying to find the catchy SEO headline was complicated. So we've ignored for once the headline analyzer, and we decided that it should be called, "What do you really want in life?"
Yeah. What do you want?
Like that.
Yeah, easy question.
Yes, right. For you.
Of course.
If you think it's so easy, why don't we start with you? What do you really want?
Oh, no.
Or when do you ask this question? Because you've asked me this question many times, and every time you've asked me this question, I've seen Lucifer saying, "What is it that you truly desire?"
Yeah, what do I
Lucifer
really
morning
say?
star. Yeah, why do you ask this question, and at what point do you ask this question with your coaches? Because you've asked me many times at different times, and I always get angry.
Yeah, there is something there triggering, I can see. But the reason I ask this question is because sometimes we just wander about, if you can say it like that. We kind of go in as, yeah, I think I know what I want. But if I ask you the question, what do you really want? It is a difficult question because it's what do you really want? And for me,
I'll be like
when
talking.
yeah, it's like, that's a sign. No, but it is difficult to answer, and I did this what do you say exercise called 7 levels deep, where you actually ask the same question again and again and again. Because if I asked you, yeah, what do you really want, and you give me an answer, and then I say, yeah, but why do you want it, or why is it that this is what you really want? And then you ask it again and again until you actually get to the root level of the question of why do you want the things you want? So why do you want the things you really want?
Mm.
Why is it important for you? And if you get to that knowledge, in which the course, the PQ course I have, where we work with the root problem, or the roots of things. And this is the same thing. If you know the root reason to why you want the things you want, it's so much easier to know how to prioritize why you're doing stuff, how you can actually exclude things and say that, okay, if I really know what I want, then I don't have to focus on this. I don't have to focus on this. I forget about that. I can actually stop doing that, and I can get head on with, okay, this is why I'm doing it. This is where I'm going. And just before this, we started the podcast today, I just said also to Alicia that I know partly where I'm going. I know my goal, where not my end goal. This sounds like this is where I'm going to die there. No, but where I do want to go, because it makes it easier as well for me to, when I do make decisions. It's like, is this what do you say in forgetting the words again. So does it actually help me get where I want to go?
Yeah.
So that is, it makes it easier to focus and prioritize, I think. So that is why I also ask you the question, and I know it's an annoying question, but what do you really want? Because when we're frustrated and we sit there and we go and it's like, oh, it doesn't work. It's like, as we do know as entrepreneurs, it's like, yeah, but this is not working. I need to do something else. It's like, yeah, but what do you really, really want? What do you actually enjoy doing? Because if you find what you really want to do, and you find the thing that gives you energy, that you enjoy doing, it all becomes it's a completely different thing than you sitting there and stressing with things that you don't really do, you don't like doing.
Yeah.
And that's why I ask the question again and again, because if the more clear you get on what do you really want, I think the easier it will be for you and for me and for everybody else to get clarity, if I can say it
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, clarity is the key. Yeah. And do you find when you ask this question, normally, how long does it take people to get to the core of the question? Do you see the aha moment? Can it take them weeks? Can it take them months? I mean,
It can take months.
it can take months.
Because the thing is, if you think about the people in your close proximity or friends or whatever, if you ask them, so what do you really want? What is your goal? Most people don't have a goal.
Yeah.
I think it's like, I think it said something like 5% of us actually have a goal. The others just go with it. You just flow with it. And you, like the hamster wheel, you just, I don't know where I'm going. So I'm just going round and around. So few people actually know what their goal is.
Yes.
And that is actually quite sad as well, because if you don't know what your goal is, how and what and why do you know where you're heading and doing what you're doing? So it's very, very different from person to person, but most people just get a bit annoyed when you ask the question.
Yeah. Is it normally entrepreneurs? Or I'm thinking now, if you ask this question to someone who's got a financial stable situation and they're doing the job that they're doing for whatever reason, have you asked this question to this group of people? Because probably they are the ones that mainly say, I don't know, or is a different mindset, because obviously they have a job and they allegedly they're doing something that they really like doing, and that's it.
It's actually, that's a really interesting question, because the way I see it is that more people, which we define more like, not like entrepreneurs, they have a job, they have a financial security. I would actually say that most of it seems really bad if I say like those people, but those are the people who don't know what their goals are.
Right.
Because entrepreneurs, many of them have come that as far as going like, I don't want to be in this hamster wheel because I want to do something else. I need to do something else because I have a different purpose in life. I have another goal. I have something I want to do. This doesn't fit me. So they actually walked out of this kind of hamster wheel blob.
Yeah.
So I think that more entrepreneurs in which I've coached have a more defined goal than people being employed and having a job, as we say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that is my experience from the coaches I've had so far, is that entrepreneurs and the people kind of doing their own stuff, they have a different mindset. It's more a growth mindset. They're kind of thinking outside the box.
Yes, that's true.
But the people being employed are more following, we talked about this previously, like this of society, and going like, yeah, but this is what I'm supposed to do. So I'm supposed to, okay, have a good education, I get a good job, then I get find the man or the woman of my life, then I get 2 or 3 or 4 kids, and then I retire, and then I live in my retirement somewhere, and then I die.
Ah, no, so sad.
Oh God. But now I'm putting people really into boxes. But my interpretation, my experience with coaching both these people, that sounds really bad. But
No, it's like they are like two prominent groups, yes, and you've come across them, and you're saying this your experience, empirical experience on these. Maybe it's just niche because it's only a few people around you, but that's what you see. And when you go online, you see more of the same out there. So I don't think it's crazy to say that there are like two big groups of people, because so far, I'm in Spain, you're in Norway, and I have the same perception as you. So maybe we're not that wrong.
Yeah, maybe we're not that wrong then. But there are people, and I think that what I notice is also people who have experiences, oh my God, sorry, trauma or losses or changes or kind of experienced things. They're not going through life and everything is kind of, yeah, everything's good. But those are the people who have maybe asked themselves the question, why am I here? What am I doing? So I think that also, and that is from both bulks of people, with the entrepreneurs or solopreneurs and the people who are employed. But I think most of the people who kind of maybe ask themselves this question are people that have kind of been through a bit.
Yes, I was gonna say that next. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know both me and you have kind of met a wall or two and experienced things that kind of put us off. What do you say? Yeah, put things in perspective. So yeah, that is actually how I see it. That I think for people to kind of go a bit deeper and ask themselves this question.
Yeah.
There usually is a reason to why they needed to ask themselves this question.
Yeah. And do you think that because we said, what do you really want? And then we said, in life, are we talking about what do you want? It's a tricky thought, I suppose. But could we say one thing is your professional life and another thing is your personal life? Or is all a big thing where we just have to? I mean, in my head, I'm really bad at boxing, as you know. So I used to bring work at home, and in fact, my house became a workplace at some point when in the summer camps with the kids coming in and out the swimming pool and playing outside. And so maybe I'm not a good example, but at what point what we really want is all about the professional or the personal, do you think? And I know that is a tricky one because we depend so much on what we bring to sustain ourselves.
But I think when you ask a question like that, and we talk about these two bulks of people, which I know it's really bad to put people in boxes, but if you think it like that, I think many of the people, for example, that are employed would definitely know the answer to the questions to where they want to go in their professional life.
Right.
Because they have a path. They want to, many of them, I say, not all of them, but okay, say you're working as a manager for a company and you know that I want to do next year, I want to go that, I want to be a senior something, and I want to be a C-level person, or I want to kind of become the CEO or whatever. It's like you have kind of the plans for maybe your business life.
Yeah.
But then again, there is the balance with the personal life. Oh, sorry. And then how I've seen it and experienced it is that they know pretty much what they want with their professional life. But if you ask them, okay, but how is then your personal life? It's like your marriage, your partnership, your kids. Are these two? Do you know where you want to go with that? And no, because the prioritization is the business, and then the private life kind of falls a bit to the side.
Yeah.
But I think, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, and this is not, I'm not saying this is kind of the overall rule and how it is, but many solopreneurs and entrepreneurs, they're more into, but I want this combined because
yes,
I am a person as a whole. So I want these things to intertwine. I want my business to work with my private life. I want this, and the goal is to kind of go there. And for me to come to the goal I have, all of these things need to fit together.
Yeah. Well, in a way, if you look at it from a psychological point of view, being so dismembered in so many different areas is neurotic.
Yeah.
Because you split yourself in many areas, and it's like you performing in a way when you're outside, and you are a different person when you're inside, and then you have different goals for different spaces, and it's neurotic.
But it's a good thing to have different goals for the different parts of your life. It's like, okay, thinking I want to do this with my business and I want to do this with my family. We have kind of, but still you have the end goal in sight.
Yeah, it's again the balance thing that we always come to.
And that is a struggle for most people, the balance.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a difficult one to find, because you can also, when you are, I am a workaholic as well, so I try to balance my family's life as much as I can, but I tend to be really absorbed by work, also because as an entrepreneur, you testing things all the time, and it takes a long time to start something, put it to test and see how it's going to go. And it is a time absorbing. And when I had my language school, it was a bit the same. It was something that maybe I could have put more of a boundary there. But I was bringing work at home every summer. When I had the break, I was preparing the material for the next course. So people would say, "Oh, you've got 2 months holiday." I'm like, "Yeah, right." I'm working as you are in the swimming pool, and I'm sweating in my lounge creating new material or revisiting. It also depends on the person. But there's something, when you asked me this question last week, I actually happened to come across, it popped up on my YouTube, a video of someone. It was a Spanish podcast, YouTube podcast as well. And the interview was two really young boys. They must be in their 20s, and I don't know if they're family. And they were interviewing this older man on how to change education, how to see education from a different angle, because it all comes from education as well. The way we've been taught in the schools to find the job. We've not been taught to be entrepreneurs.
Nope.
We've been taught to work in companies and go in the rat race, as you were saying, the hamster wheel. And he said the phrase, the phrase that caught my attention towards the whole thing was, the highlights of the podcast was, "The world outside is dead." I thought, whoa, nice. It's a cemetery out there. Everybody's dead. And we need to, excuse me, we need to create awareness, and we need to teach people, the younger generations, to have a choice, to learn as much as they want and the things that they want and the way they want. So then they are not just specialized, a bit like in a multi-pod idea, but not quite like that, as in giving everybody the tools to be good at many different things, but to actually decide. So at that point, I thought, yes, that's actually having all that knowledge without the constraints of you're going to end up as A, B, or C professional. Then the young person can know what they really want, because they have actually had the chance to explore all the different capacities. And that begins in the schools.
It does.
How long are we going to take to notice that schools are overrated, that the way they're running is not they're obsolete? A lot of people, I've heard many entrepreneurs now say the way schools are running is obsolete. The mentality is archaic. And I think that's kind of worldwide. I don't know what it's like in Norway, and I don't know what is the feeling that you have over there, but I do feel that I see my kids, for example, they don't fit the normal, the average kid. They think differently, because dad is English, mom's Spanish, and I'm a weird Spanish. I don't think like another Spaniard, and I don't, and they kind of suffering for this, because they can't even communicate with the equals in the type of conversations that we have at home. They are at a different level. Their interests are different. My 13-year-old is like, yeah, but I would like to have a deeper conversation. So he goes with the girls.
Yeah, okay.
Not because he's gay, which is nothing wrong with that. People will say, well, if he goes with girls because he's gay. No, it's not. He's smart. He knows where people are thinking, are the girls at the moment. The boys are interested in other things because they are the level of maturity for kids, for boys, they're more childish for longer.
But I think it varies more in boys than girls.
Yes, but I
Yeah,
have
girls are more mature. Yeah.
I've got a very mature 13-year-old that is going on to 20 instead of 14 next, you know. So so and he's having also he's doing because of having English as another language that is it being bilingual, trilingual here. He has an option in the school he goes to have an international course that matches. So it's like an extra with an American university. Oops.
Oh.
And he absolutely loves it. And it's not that he needs to improve his English, obviously, but it's very good for him to socialize with another country, with a different teacher, different mindset. He sees different people from other places. He sees some of his colleagues as well.
Yeah.
But he sees other people. And then he realizes, I'm not weird. There's nothing broken in me. I'm just different. And I have different values, which is something that you mention all the time. And I have different targets and a different purpose in life. I don't want to end up working in a place where people are going to keep talking about the things they talk about in the school. That's all he's worried about. I can't engage with them. I just can't.
He's already worried about this.
Absolutely. And he's like, John, you're only 13, man. Just chill. But he can't help it. That's him. So we're really working with also with a psychologist. We started working really recently. So he can see that this is temporary, that there are many other options he can do, that he can approach people. Also, he needs to work on his views because he's a little bit too rigid. So he needs to be a little bit more flexible, give himself some chance, give other people some chance. And he's a very, it's a perfectionist as well. So it's someone with high capacities, but precisely because intellectually he's got these high capacities, he hasn't got the patience to wait for people. He hasn't got the patience to.
Does he remind you of anyone?
Oh, my husband. And his mother. No, it's at a different level. Yes, maybe so. Maybe I'm a bit there as well. But at his age, I didn't have those issues. I've developed those issues with time.
Yeah, we're just thinking about the impatience part that's going like, yeah, I want to.
But so much. I mean, it's absolutely, it's really strict. Is that I can see that coming. I can see what that person is going to do. I don't want it. And like, well, at least have a go. Give the person and yourself a chance. You might discover something. Having said that, when I did that in the past, I ended up in really bad relationships. So I don't know which is best or worse. At the end of the day, are you happy like this? No, I'm not. Well, then chill a little bit and find a friend. And even if this friend, you're not going to like everything about a person. We don't like everything about each other. You don't even like everything about yourself. And that's the deal.
But the thing is, like talking about coaching, what we all work with, which is the common thing in every coaching session, is like loving yourself. Building your self-confidence and self-loving, and just because we're so many, it's different people, but the communication we have with ourselves, as you say, we have the voices going like, nang, 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 you're not doing enough, this is not good enough. And it's just, when you talk about him as well, going like already at this age, and you're thinking he's a bright boy, he's smart, he sees the world in a different way. And what it actually brings back to him is that he feels like he's maybe not fitting in.
Yes.
And it's just really, it breaks my heart when I think about, because he's thinking in a different way. It's nothing bad, it's nothing wrong. It's just that he sees the world in a different way than the classmates does.
Yes. But that's why we, for example, in an education like this guy was saying, where you have more options, you have more of a say, and you could actually have more access to more people. For example, if there were more classes like this online,
Yeah.
not just a physical place with your nearby people, but also some online opportunities. If there were more of those, I think someone like my son or even adults, we could benefit more from having these relationships, because then it takes you out of what you live every day.
Yeah.
And it could be the way you are living, maybe your country, the way your country thinks
Yeah,
is
but
more
it
right for
could be the
you.
society where you are. It's like
Yeah.
if that is, for example, I live in Bergen in Norway, or if it would be where you are in Spain, it's like it could be just the small society around you. Because what I
Yes.
felt was during the pandemic, when I started some of the coaching courses I've been doing, I kind of felt that I've met my tribe. I was like,
Yeah.
my God, this is brilliant. I'm now talking to people, like-minded people who are in the same, they were kind of in the same mindset, thinking a bit, of course, we're different. All of us were different, but it was kind of, oh my God, why haven't I met these people before? Why haven't I met these kind of people before? Because they were in a kind of the same mindset, thinking alike in some of the ways, but challenging. It's like all these good conversations. Like, oh my God, I've been missing this.
Yeah. Yeah. But this needs to be included more in the schools again.
Could be.
Yeah.
Because, as you say, if he doesn't feel like he's fitting in there, it's like meeting some sort of bit going online and meeting somebody else, or
Yeah.
broadening their view on life
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people.
Even said, he said once, and you're gonna love this. It's really cute. When he met you, he said, "Oh, I won't mind having a Norwegian girlfriend." If he's like Cecilia, gonna like, oh, so
Oh, that was nice.
yeah, because he really connected with you. But yeah, it connects with adults. It connects very well with adult people. And he connects with people from different mentality. I mean, the whole aura of you is so different from a Spaniard. That we are always like rats running around hectic.
But again, it's like putting people, it's like because we do that to make sense of things. It's like we
Yes,
put people into boxes because for me, you're kind of a Spanish.
I
Like,
am.
yeah, because it's like I know you. So okay, this is how Spanish people are, even though I've been to Spain many times and they're not the same, but it's easy
There are
for us.
traits.
Yeah,
There are
Norwegians
traits.
are like this and you're like
There
this.
are general things that, yes, they are there. Obviously,
But
I'm loud. I can go start with this with my hands.
you do all of this.
I can do this. I can.
Yeah, but it's just thinking actually that we can put people into boxes because it really limitates the people or the possibilities. And I'm just thinking for him as well, why shouldn't he come to Norway, get a Norwegian girlfriend? We Norwegians are all over the place, so he might meet Norwegian girl in Spain for that sake.
That's the
But
thing as well that we say, I say he's an hybrid, but in his class, there's people like him. There's a German with a Catalan, there's a Peruvian with someone, we are all very mixed nowadays. So
yeah,
culturally, it's not like when I went to school that we were all from the same place. Nowadays, people are from different countries. Maybe we had a guy the mom was German and was like, wow, mom is German. Speak a bit of German to us. And it would say, no, don't want to. And he spoke with a German Spanish, with a German accent in Spanish. So, yeah, but it's what you
but
say now.
yeah.
The
But looking
travel.
back to my childhood as well, I think in like my first years in school, we got a guy from Brazil. He moved
Mm,
here to his aunt. And I was like, oh my God, he had dark skin and he was completely different from all of us. And it was like, and it was such a breath of fresh air. It was like, oh my God, somebody else. It was like, yeah, something new.
interesting. Yeah.
And I remember already there, I'm still in contact with him. And he was like, oh my God, it was such my dad was really, what do you say? I included my dad in everything. So we went to this week, what do you call it? We call it leirskole in Norway, but
Okay.
a week away with the school class, and he said he couldn't go because his what do you say aunt couldn't pay for it, and then my dad said he's joining, so my dad paid for the whole thing and he
Oh,
joined.
nice.
He said, I actually talked to him now a bit on Snapchat in between, and he said, I just remember you two because it was just so nice the way your dad went kind of okay, included me, and you were kind of including me as well. I was like,
Wow, you'll never forget that. Yeah,
no,
you'll
but
never
it
forget
was
that.
it was just really brilliant. It's like because all the other people were from the same place. It's the same people you saw all the time, and it was like so getting something new, and for me that was kind of yay.
Exciting. No, no, absolutely. And it really triggers the curiosity, and you want to know more about the other cultures,
Yeah, but
habits, customs.
it's the same thing as my parents dragging me all around the world. Luckily, to like see different places, different cultures,
That's
eating
beautiful.
different foods, and opening our minds. And I'm so grateful to them for
Yeah,
actually doing that because I think that we need to kind of go out of our small boxes sometimes and
we
get a
do.
perspective to life because that's why I have seen it. I can't really end up here in Norway. I think I need to move somewhere else. And that's why I also do business abroad as well, because for me, it's just,
It's kind of
it's,
normal too.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
but it also it goes back to the question today that by traveling as well, you can actually see what you like from those cultures and what you don't like.
yeah,
And I've even seen people who travel around the world because of their jobs, and then they have ended up where they were born because they said there's no better place than this place. I love it, but they need to go out to have the realization that they were already happy where they were, and that's perfect because you have something to compare it with.
yeah. And it gives you perspective as well. It's the same thing.
Mm.
I lived in Scotland for many years and I was like, oh my God, I'm so looking forward to going home because you know your place. And as I told you, I definitely always will have a place there in Bergen in Norway, but it's just you know how things work, you know the people, you know how it all works. So it's appreciating more of the things you have when you go abroad. You actually see like, okay, things work not the same way, different, but maybe not as good in this way, but in another way, maybe better. So
Mm.
it's perspectives, and I think that is important to know if you do like what do you really want. I think
Yeah.
you need to get some perspective.
Yeah, and sometimes is just say if you don't really know by thinking about it logically, is that just travel if you can travel, see the world, see other people,
If you
put
want
yourself
to.
in a different context. Yeah.
Yeah, but that again is if you want to, because I'm not saying that everyone should do it. I would advise them to try to travel somewhere else and see the world. But if that is not of your interest, if that's you actually want to have a farm up in the countryside or in the mountains, and you want to stay there alone and maybe have a wife or a man and some kids, up to you. I wouldn't judge anyone. But if that is what you want to do, that's perfect.
Yes.
We're not all alike, and that's like you say with your son as well. It's like luckily we're not all alike, and he has a completely different view on life than the
Yeah.
other kids in his class. And
Yeah.
even though it's kind of probably difficult for him now, I think it will benefit him later on having like the Spanish mom and the English dad, and like it will open up things for him that none of the other kids in his class will
Yeah.
maybe have the chance to
It's,
both see and
yeah.
do.
Yeah, it's got different views and he's finding his own ways. Because he does a lot of thinking as well. So I think when it comes to the thing is that professionally he says I want to do biology. He knows that right now. He sees himself in a lab being investigating under the lens, and having a look at things and finding cures to illnesses and stuff like that. So he kind of likes that.
Wow.
Yeah, it has it very clear. I mean, in the bedroom, he has these posters of we bought him for Christmas. These, and he chose them. He follows a YouTube channel where they talk about biology and science, and they have their own material. So they have these beautiful, beautiful posters of the cell, of the sea animals, of DNA, of the periodic table, and he has them all around the bedroom. And it's got Luffy as well, it's got the what's it
Wow.
called now? It's got a mixture of manga and science, and it's really cool. But he's yeah, I think precisely because so much he's had interaction with due to our business, the having had the school, he was there. He wasn't with a babysitter in the house when we were working. He was there. He could
Yeah.
listen to me teaching. He was in the entrance having the snacks and watching videos while people were changing classes and coming in and out. People were talking to him. He attended classes to get his grammar right. I taught him as well as when he was little. We were there singing and dancing. We've done so many things. We've had people coming from the UK here, and they loved him because it was a baby, and they were like cheering him up the last day. Hey, John, and he was like my older friends, my big boy friends. He loved it. So now he talks to us and he says, sometimes I do apologize, and I'm really sorry I wasn't there for you more as a mom, as in reading you nice stories, or doing more things with you. And it was like, I got really good memories of the school, mom, because I could do what I wanted, but I was there with you too. Sam was there as well. We could eat. We were looked after. We learned tons of things. We met a lot of people. And maybe that's why he doesn't need so many people now either, because he knows what it's like, and he doesn't need it. Doesn't need to
Yeah.
be surrounded by so many people, but he's got good memories. That means that somehow we managed to give him a choice as well. Yes, it was different because the other kids didn't have parents in town with businesses, although some did as well. And you can see that the mentality is kind of different because the moment that are running a business, and it's hard. But I think that it's hard, and some the same. It's had a lot more, maybe less because it was younger. They've had more choice to know at least what they don't want.
Yeah.
And what they like and what they don't like. And that there are options, and that they are lucky that they have now, like we have these possibilities that you and I didn't have. And I show him sometimes, look, this is what my pen pal was like. And I bring the box with all the letters there. But now pen pal has moved on as well. And you can go online. So he has joined pen pal to make
Okay.
friends online. So if it not been because I had always wanted a foreign boyfriend and to practice my English with other people, then now we wouldn't know about pen pal, and that has moved on. It was before just by hand writing letters, and now it's online and connectivity. So he's got more of a chance to know what he wants also by exchanging opinions with people. It doesn't always start with the school, I think. It's also, as you were saying, the example that your dad set up for you by helping someone else. That's also part of your coaching persona now.
Yeah.
The coaching persona, and not the coachee, the coaching persona. And all these things that we don't really value or we don't really see, they're going invisible. We pick them up along the way.
We do.
So it's kind of, if we had to say to people where to find, how to answer this question, what would be for you the first thoughts mentally? What we should actually look, I mean, maybe this is impossible because it's just whatever triggers in everybody's minds, and we'll be talking about the unconscious, the collective unconsciousness, and the individual unconsciousness and everything else. We go back to Jung, but this exercise of going really, really deep this is what we do also in analysis.
But I think also, will we ever find the answer to it? What do we really want? It's like, it's with coaching as well. It's like, you dig into one problem and then you think that, oh, I solved that one, and then suddenly something new appears and you go like, oh, what the hell? Okay. And you're constantly working and digging and finding new things.
Yeah.
So you never kind of to the core and saying I'm perfect, because you will never be. It's just, I think that it's the progress and the evolvement. And but what do you really want? I think also you get clearer. Like the deeper you get, the clearer you will actually get as well to what you actually really want. Because what is important for you, as you mentioned it just now, it's just the values. What are important values for you? And I do have this coaching, like a value coaching session, which takes a couple of hours, but it goes really deep into what are the core values for you. For example, if you're looking for a new partner, if you're looking for a new job, if you're looking for a collaboration with something, what are the 4 or 5 like most important values that your partner meets you in, or the what do you say, the job meets you,
Yeah.
or the partner you're going to into collaboration with? It's like, do they actually meet you on these values, or which are the most important ones for you? Because that is the way you can actually say, and it's like, if what do you really want? I talked to you, I don't remember if we did that in this podcast or if it was before. It's like, because if you have the goal in sight and you know you're going there, this is where I'm going, it's easier to kind of go. And if you know that these are my values, I know that I really appreciate these 4 or 5 things, and these are the most important things for me, you can also easily, as I say, you know where you're going. So you can actually get rid of all these and say, okay, this is not a good job for me because it doesn't like it doesn't meet my requirements within my values, for example. It kind of it meets 3 of them, but the 4th is not there at all.
Yeah.
Or for example, if you're meeting a partner or a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and they go like, but okay, he has this and this, but these 3 other ones are really absent, not there. Then it's okay, what do you do with that? Do you actually continue the relationship? Do you take the job? Do you continue with the partnership? Or is that going kind of beyond your values? And
Yeah.
where does that lead you? Because it is a guideline for, and when I ask the question, what do you really want? It's just, if you know what you really want, what is important for you, for example, as a solopreneur, entrepreneur, whatever, and you know that the most important thing, or the thing I really want, is to write. As I ask you this, and I know you got really mad at me, but it is like, what do you really want? Yeah, I want to
Uncomfortable.
really, the thing I want to write, I want to write, I want to live my life, I want to be with my family, I don't have to worry about finances. I want to that is the thing. The main thing is actually writing. I don't want to do all of,
Yes.
okay, that is clarity.
Yeah. I suppose it would help for someone like in my position at the moment where the question really itches. I was thinking as you were talking now that it could also help, and sometimes it does, I think, asking what is it that you don't want?
Yeah.
Just turn it over. Because then at least you know for sure what you don't like and all the things that you don't want to be doing. So if the first question makes you really stuck and really mad, or because also I
Yeah,
feel, well,
flip
this
it
can,
around.
yeah, turn it around.
But that is also, it's quite funny actually, as you say that, because when you talk, for example, about people looking for a new partner, so say, okay, when I work with the matchmaking and people say, they say all the things they don't want. So it's easy to say,
Clear, yeah.
I don't want him to be like this or like this, and he had to do not like this. And then I say, yeah, but what do you really want? And then that is also a trigger,
Difficult, yeah.
because we all know what we don't want, because on like based on our experience and our everything we've been through, it's like, I don't want this guy to watch football. If he needs to exercise, he doesn't have to eat this food. It's like, you know, all the things you don't like. And then
Yes.
flip the question that way. You go like, yes, so what do you want? Then they go like, yeah, but I said what I don't want. And that for me is like, yeah, that doesn't really say what you want. So it was funny that you actually flipped the question in this one. But what don't you really want? What don't you want? What are the things that you don't want?
Yes. Yes,
So
yes.
maybe that's easier for you to start with and go like, what is it I don't
I
want?
don't want to be dependent on others, which is
Yeah,
quite difficult as well, because at some level we all depend on each other as well
yeah.
in different situations. And I think we go back to the idea of freedom and free will or determinism, and are we going now to philosophy and even psychology? These two terms still on the table, as in, do we have free will, or are we determined? Is it all written down for us? Then if it's all written down for us, why should I bother? you know
But again, it's for me when you say freedom, you talk about freedom is important for all of us. But what is freedom for Alicia? Because
yeah,
freedom for Alicia could be something completely different than freedom for me.
exactly. Yeah, we said, I think that was episode 2 or something, we this came up as well, the freedom concept.
Yeah, but what is freedom? What do you define as freedom? For
Yeah,
you,
it's
if
to do
you
what you
say that,
want.
okay, I want freedom.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and if you say that, maybe for someone, freedom could be killing their neighbor when they don't like them, that's freedom as well. But no, I'm talking about freedom
oh,
of,
it goes so dark. No, just
well,
kidding.
no, but true, you say
Yeah,
freedom and then all the nutters come out
yeah.
with a knife.
But they have their definition of freedom as well. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I killed my parents because I wanted my freedom.
Yes, that's yes, exactly. But without harming anybody, if freedom, I think for me, I suppose it's what I said to you before. If I could just take every day as it comes, not like not having any targets or any things to do. I like having projects,
Yeah.
but taking them their own pace. Sometimes projects resist themselves, sometimes they flow, but leaving room for all the things that you can control, leaving like more room. I think one of the things Jung used to say was he built a little house near a lake, Bollingen, was it? I don't know if I'm saying it right, but he built this little huge round tower house that he had for him to be there, a retreat on his own. He built it with his hands, with some help, I think. But it was a space for him to think and to be himself without the influence of his wife or anything. I think actually the wife had died when he started building this. So it was a place for him to find himself. And
But this makes me really curious. Sorry for interrupting you, but when you talk about project, you would like to have the freedom to kind of do every day as you want, but you talk about projects. What
yeah,
kind of projects would give you the feeling of the freedom you want and the energy? So what would these kind of projects include?
yeah,
For you,
yeah, this is why
feel
I'm bringing, this is why I'm bringing Jung into it, because when he built this place, it was something he could do without the social pressure. It was outside his therapy sessions. It was outside the world, the rules, the family dynamics. It was just the connection with himself and the unconscious. And he was exploring there this other part of nature, of human beings, which is the unconscious mind. And it was reflecting a lot on things. And it was in contact with art, in contact with nature. And we kind of have, and these, when you're in nature and you just live with basic stuff, it gives you a different pace. This is why I'm mentioning Jung, because time and space in this place for him stopped. It became a place for him to connect with himself. And then he recharged his batteries and then he went back to the routine, because obviously he also knew that being always in that state was not going to be balanced. It's not, it can destabilize the person, because then you're not in the whole of the reality of the living, the material reality. You need to be, your consciousness and your unconscious need to have the balance. If you live constantly in the unconscious, this can take you over, and then you become doolally. But when he moved to this place, and he reflected on the fact that we have lost contact, we have lost touch with nature, and we are so technological now. Imagine, he was saying this in 1900s. We're so technological that we are losing connection with ourselves. So we're speeding up, and we don't even have time to digest and to enjoy what we're actually doing. As we were saying, there are some projects that they require time. You know, we were building the other day, I made this clay elephant with my son. That took my whole afternoon, the Sunday afternoon. And at times I was like, because that was on the plan in my head, I needed to do other things. But for him, it was important because he had a deadline, because this person is leaving soon, so he needed to have it done. And we wanted it to dry, and then he needed to paint it. Okay, so we had to plan that. But then as I was sitting with him, I needed to think, it's okay. I'm actually having bonding time with my son, and it was great fun. And then I said, hey, Stan, we'll have to do this in the summer more often because it's fun. And we were working together. We were actually deciding what elephant we were going to build. What color was it going to be? Was it going to have tusks? Was it going to have a mouth? Was it going to have painted eyes? Was it going to have googly eyes? And it was a lot of fun. So I feel that the world outside imposes its own timings, and maybe because I'm getting older, I need to slow down, which is quite funny that I say that, because I've always been rushing throughout my life.
But again, now I'm going into a bit of coaching, but you're mentioning time again.
I am. Damn
Yes.
it. You got me again.
It's time again. But I'm really curious, if you want to share, of course, because we're doing this as a podcast. But when you were sitting there with Sam and he needed to make this elephant, and you said, yeah, but God damn it, and you made this kind of, what was going on in your head? Was that time again, saying, do I need to spend time? I don't have time to do this.
Yes, because I had to clean, I had to iron, I had to do all the mommy duties, and I felt, boom, the anxiety there. I'm very aware of what's happening.
So what is the anxiety about? What is
Oh, that I don't have time. I want to do it all. I want to be super mommy, super professional, super everything. No time for all these things.
Dishes don't go away, or the ironing. Yeah, but again, it's time again. But it's like the dishes don't go away. They will still be there when you finish the elephant. It's the same thing about the ironing. Okay, you have some wrinkly clothes. Okay, who cares?
Yeah. And I know this, but it feels, it goes there.
Yeah.
Changing that is taking time, and I think it's not only something that happens to me, it happens to a lot of people.
A lot of people, yeah.
And when you realize, as you say, by asking all these questions and having coaches on Sunday night recording your WhatsApp saying, you go, okay. So yeah, thank you, because you have the reminder there of we need to slow down. And
like you enjoy the moment when you actually manage to push well, like the anxiety and the
ironing. It was like, let's make another. I was like, oh, we run out. Let's make another. Yeah. But then the next thought is, oops, I'm enjoying this, and I'm not bringing money by doing this. Guilt.
Okay, so I see where you're actually going. Yeah. So the guilt and the anxiety and the money and the time.
And the money.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's yeah, we can do this not maybe online.
No, but you know my demons.
Yeah, but it is really interesting because you talk about, when I mentioned projects, you mentioned projects, and you say I would have the freedom and I would do these projects, and then you take the example you came up with and you say he was without the social pressure.
Yes.
He was just there for himself. He was in nature with art, back to the basics.
Yes,
and
back to basics.
connected with himself. And when you talked about it, it's a different pace. You said that yourself. You said it's a different pace. So it's just looking for me. I can see many things there. I won't really go into it, but again, as I said to you, it's for you. I think it's many things have to do with time.
Yes.
So when you talk about freedom, what I interpret from what you're saying is actually the thing you say also is slowing down, looking maybe at time in a different way and not having the pace of the money and
Yes.
chase. And I can't really enjoy this thing because I need to make money. I need to do this. I need to.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes it's so what do you really want? Yeah, you want more of this time with Sam and with John, and you want more of this letting down your shoulders and maybe having a good time without having the nagging or the money pressure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is it's the same thing for me as well. It's thinking about what do I really want? I want to do the things I really enjoy. I like helping people. And when people talk about, for example, oh, I really look forward to retirement, and I think I will never retire. I will actually, when I move to my house in France, I want to be there. I want to help people.
I'll visit you and we'll be painting elephants.
For me, it's like retire. I can't
Yeah.
retire. That wouldn't work because would that kind of say that I need to shut down my brain because I'm so curious. I need to learn new stuff. I need to, and that is what I feel like. What do you really want? I want to help people. That is
Yes.
my goal. I feel more and more my passion, my drive is to help people and maybe help them find their way, find out and solve the things that are kind of stopping them reaching their goals. So for me, it's like retirement and no, my goal is to help people. That is
Yeah.
what I really want. I want to help people, and I want to help people here in Norway. I want to help people in in France. I want to help people,
Spain.
yeah, Spain, but
Worldwide. Of course, yeah.
worldwide.
Yeah.
And it's knowing that I have like this passion to help people.
Mm.
That is what's driving me. So if you would like, what do you really want in life? That is
Yeah.
where I want to go. I want to help people. I want to help more people. I want to reach out to new people and help them find their freedom.
Yeah. And at what point did you realize that, I mean, you say this all the time to me, Ines, like, again, I mean, oh, she's got it so clear. And damn, I don't have it so clear. How can I get it so clear? But you have it very clear. And also is something that a lot of people say nowadays, oh, how can you help others? And that's another question that really gets to me. Why do I have to help others?
Fuck them.
Well, it's not that fuck them, but yeah, sometimes they can fuck themselves up. But oops, maybe we'll get a bleep in here.
Yeah,
But you know, it's why that has to be the target, helping other people. You know, find something to help others. It's also kind of put a block in my head. If it's natural, it comes natural to you. Perfect, and you know how that looks like. I've been helping people learning languages or learning English for a long time. And then I felt at some point that I needed to help myself. I think
and I
something.
think that's where you're at. I think you need to help
Yes.
yourself first.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think that's like now I'm kind of blubbing it out here to everyone, but I think that the sooner you find and help yourself,
Yeah.
you will have the energy and the, what do you say? We say in Norwegian, overskudd to give to others. Because
Yeah.
when you manage to help yourself, you have all of these, like the Jungian stuff, the Gothic stuff, where you can help others. And maybe it's not for you to help others. Maybe that's not your thing. Maybe it's enough on your plate where you're at in your life.
But it does happen in a different way, because it is happening when I write my articles and I say to people, now the last article that I published, it got published yesterday, I talk about some of this stuff that we're talking about now. And I say it's something like on the lines of why the world needs excellent creatives to come out of the prison that we're living in. You need to go?
No, I was just pouring me a glass.
Oh, okay. so you know, why we need more creatives, excellent creatives, and it's based on a lot of my personal experience, but I'm actually talking to people and say, look, we're living in this kind of context. Don't let it get to you. This is my opinion on this and my views, my personal experience, but this is how you can also maybe be this creative person and help the world. For me, the view is the world needs to change. So I do have a purpose.
But maybe your purpose and helping people is not the way I think about helping people, because you are
Exactly.
writing.
Exactly.
You know how many people's life have been changed by people reading books
Exactly. That's where
and
I would
reading
get.
stuff. And
Yeah.
that is maybe your purpose. That is not my purpose. I love writing, but it's not, I don't have the time to read. That's the thing, because my brain is going like this and
Yeah.
but for me, a good conversation and helping people like this in a
Yes.
coaching session, or helping more people in kind of a combined coaching. But for you, I think that is actually helping people with your writing and maybe
It is. It is.
helping
Because then
people
the
get
feedback,
clarity. Yeah.
and they saying, thank you for that. I've not realized, or oh, the Gothic. Oh, and then I always bring the Gothic and the Jungian now in the articles. They come out all the time. So thanks to all the lessons and the coachings that you've been giving me, it's something that now is consistent as well. You know, it's like the main thread. Let's look at this from this lens.
Yeah.
It works. It really does work because that's me. That's my voice. And yes,
The way
maybe
you
not.
can help people. I think
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
way you should help people.
Indirectly, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indirectly. It's saying, okay, let's be uncomfortable. Why is your opinion like that? Just turn it around. I like making people uncomfortable, not in the sense of annoying them, but have a look at all the angles. And
Yeah.
this is something similar came up in analysis last Monday that I was really frustrated with some issues that I told you before. They came out there with her too. And she said something like, the most difficult thing in life for people is to actually accept that other people don't think like them.
Yeah.
So at the moment, and she says, that's a life journey. So it's not going to happen overnight. We all deal with that all our lives.
And that's the same thing we just have with John as well. It's
Yes.
accepting that people, we don't think the same or alike. We do in some what do you say, objects and subjects, but in other ways we're completely different. But that is the way I love to learn and love to hear about what are your points of view, because it's probably sometimes completely different. It's like, for example, in our last episode when we talked about the AI, and you said your experience of this guy's webinar or his online presentation. I was like, you thought about so many things that I didn't really give any thought to. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't think about that. And
Yeah.
I love that because it's bringing perspective into my life and into, oh my God, this is fascinating. It's interesting. And that is what I really enjoy with the conversation and the coaching, because when I coach people, I learn something about myself as well.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's also bringing, for example, I've been like doing coaching now for such a long time that it's like you, as a coach, you need to have coaching sessions yourself. So I've been a coachee for a long time as well. And the things I learn myself is like all these aha moments I want to bring other to my
Yeah.
clients as well. It's like that really changed something in me, and I want to have people feel the same way and go like, oh my God, that was a revelation. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
To learn more about themselves. And I think that's where probably where we meet as well. It's like the thing that moves me a lot of times when I open my mouth, my big mouth, is I see something is wrong with the world when you see pain. And it's to say to people, well, change it. It's in your hands to change that. Why
yeah,
do you have to keep doing it? You know, so because some of these things are happening to me, I'm really, I'm really cross with them. Because yeah, you can change up to certain point, you can certain extent, you can change things, but you can't always change things. But um I'm saying this, I don't know why I'm saying this, I lost the plot now. But don't know what I'm saying it. I don't know what I'm saying.
But I think just in regards to like what you want and your goal in life, and that we are all different. It's like,
Yes.
yeah, we are all different. But I think, as you said as well, I agree with you. Then the school system is completely wrong. It's. I have constant talks with my daughter. She's finished now with 13 years of school, and I say, if you want to be an artist, go be an artist. She is the most creative person I know. She is drawing, she is making all these video and small videos and whatever, and she's singing and she's playing music. It's like, why shouldn't she do that? Because her answer is, again, I won't make money out of it. It's like, I can't make a living out of it. And it's like,
And
we
who's
are all
told her
different.
that? Yeah, we've always
Yeah,
come to this, and you haven't told her that. So imagine the pressure of society and people around her for her to think that way,
yeah.
or even the jobs advertised there and everything. And she also knows about the struggle because she can see that there is a struggle to be an entrepreneur. Mm,
But
but
I just actually read this article. I just need to mention that because I can't remember where I read it, but I read this article about this girl who wanted to be a nurse. That was her goal. She wanted to be a nurse. But then she thought it's not paying enough money. So she started working as an engineer or something instead because that was giving her more money. And again, it's just, yeah, the shift of things, saying she wanted to be a nurse, she wanted really to do this. She had been kind of planning that for such a long time, and then she's like, it's not paying enough money, because if I were to take a job as a nurse, I wouldn't really afford having my own apartment. I wouldn't be, because here in Norway we usually buy houses and apartments, we don't rent. I know it's different places in the world, but
yeah.
she said I wouldn't be able to get into the real estate market because I wouldn't earn enough money.
Wow, that's sad.
And that's just saying so much about taking choices because
Yeah.
the money is kind of paving the way, that the society is paving the way. And
Yeah, but then in a case like that, if someone has a real strong call, maybe she will look into being a nurse in another country. So nowadays, and
yeah, but
then the
maybe
issue of
like,
do I want to live Norway or not, or my country, wherever you are. So what is stronger? Then we go back to also what's in Jungian terms, you have your diamond and you have your coal. What is your soul asking you to do? And if you do not listen to that, it's gonna haunt you.
yeah.
So this girl might temporarily patch up, and then later on she's gonna go back to nursing, maybe when she's got the house. And then
Yeah,
she'll
but
go,
yeah. But this is also what I think about when I'm really into the mental health thing. And thinking about this, yeah, she will probably, it might be that she will be perfectly happy as an engineer, or I can't remember if that was the thing she was, but it's just the mental health about doing something that you don't really want.
exactly.
Again, the question we were asking today is like, what do you really want?
Exactly.
And choosing differently because you don't really want, but again, the society is kind of telling you that this is right. So we're making decisions based on finances, based on society and what society norms are, and how would other people view us, because
Yeah.
yeah, and that's a constant thing as well. We know, both of us and all of us, like, how do other people view us? And
Yeah. Yeah. No. And you're making me think. You're making me remember that I had my second boyfriend. We met in high school, and then things ended up that I wasn't really good at studying. I wasn't concentrating, so we both quit and we started working. But obviously, my thing was languages, and I needed this 5 years degree, but I wasn't doing my exams very well because I was going out with him as well. So there are times, 17, 18, 19, these ages when you're so vulnerable as well. And if you're looking for love at the same time that you want to run a life and be independent, there's so much happening at that time in your life that is the choices you make then kind of determine quite a lot what happens to you later. So I did secretarial courses. I did study all the things, other than being a philologist, because of my family situation at the time. It was incompatible to go to uni at that time. So I said, right, I'll come back to it when the circumstances are appropriate. And it's what I did. But in that time with this boyfriend that I prioritized to be with him, everything else took a second place. I was doing jobs that I didn't like doing. I learned tons of things, don't take me wrong, because I was making photocopies in a copy place, and I learned things from there, how to put things together. Now I can do my own dossiers, for example, and I know how to print from everything. Then I did my secretarial course, and I did German and English there as well. And then I was doing other things, I never really stopped, but I went around in a big loop. And he was trying to change me. He said, we need to find a job that brings so much money to buy ourselves a house, so then we can be free, so then we can move on. And then what for? For him to be unfaithful, or to start playing around with my mind and making a real mess of it. So, but you have to go through all these things as well. When you're younger, when you're starting in life, it's all about trial and error as well. And I remember my mom said to him once, all right. So he said, he used to complain to my mom, it's Alicia, she's not doing this or she's not doing that. She went, you want to change her? Good luck. She's like a dad. She's a free soul. She's a free soul, and she's going to do whatever suits her and whatever she feels is right. So even though in the constraints of family, close, boyfriend, whatever, the call at that time, whatever that call is, and for me, that was English philology. It was there, meeting other people, being with other cultures. That was always there. That's my essence.
Yeah.
It couldn't kill it. So what you really want might not present itself clearly, but it's going to come through.
It will. And I think that's kind of what it's done for both me and you. And I think it's for so many other people as well. It's like, if you kind of try to silence it, it will at some time appear again. And so for this girl as well, if she's really into nursing and people and that side of things instead of engineering, I think that will come up later on again.
It will for sure. In maybe in a different shape or form, but it will.
Yeah. But I remember as well, because when I wanted to study, I said to my mom that I wanted to do culinary artistic arts, like drawing and painting and all of this. And she was like, that is not a proper education.
Wow.
So I took like the studying like normal, 13 years of school, but ended up the same way with arts as I have a bachelor in film and media and design and whatever. So it was just doing a bit of other way, and that led me to the same place again. So the
path is not straight. The path is not straight, but you will end up.
You think that it's going like this, but usually it's goes like
oh yeah, for me it's the second one.
I think for most people it's like that.
Most people. Yeah, and maybe also we need to see it as a process and enjoy the ride as you're on it, So maybe we should not be so strict on ourselves. It's just, I guess, when we get to a certain age, also it's like, oh, I'm an adult. I need to set the example for my kids, and I need to be,
But I just really, I would like to say, my mom said her, she was, when she said this, I think she was 75, and she said, it was something about choice, and she said, I think now I'm 75, I think I can make that choice now.
Oh, bless.
Okay, so you need to be 75 to actually make your own. Like, yeah.
Don't leave it for so late, don't leave it for so long in case you don't make it.
But it was like, no, I'm old enough to make that choice. I was like, okay, I think maybe the time is now to make that choice. I want to do it now.
It shows that what you're saying, that everybody has a call, and everybody, maybe we don't all know what we really want at times in life, but we just need to listen. We need to listen and go and take all 7 steps.
Yeah, 7 levels. But
several
ask
levels
yourself
deep.
the question. I think just starting with asking you the self, like yourself, that question: what do you really want
Mm.
in life? What do you really want?
It does, and even if you cannot answer it, and if you go stroppy like I did, and then I did a little recording to you, and in the little recording I said, "Yeah, remember, I know what I want. I want to write."
Yeah.
And then I show you by the ducks around. But then it stayed with me for the whole week. I found that other video that I told you about, and it's still going on in my head. And it went in my head the first time you asked about it. Every so often I ask these as well. And I think if you ask the question and you don't really have the answer, maybe there's an archetypal force saying to you, it's not the time to answer it either. So just give yourself that time.
Give
We do
yourself
a
a
lot of,
leeway, relax, and think that if you don't have the answer, that's perfectly okay. It's
yeah,
just think about it. As you say, it's a progress. We don't
yeah,
really know.
yeah,
But if you don't think about it, you definitely won't know anything. But if you actually think about it and give it time, as you say, I didn't have the answer right away, or I thought I had, and suddenly I was like, oh my God, I don't know. But give yourself the time to actually, yeah, but what do I want? And
yeah.
sometimes it takes years. It
It
doesn't kind of,
does.
yeah.
And it's a period of time, and I mentioned the archetypal force thing because I've just remembered uh Jean Bolin. I'm not saying the right and the right, a Jungian analyst as well. Um, I mentioned it a lot of times that she talks about the goddesses in every woman, and then she talks about the goddesses in every man. I'll put the name because I'm mixing the surname with the name. And she says, both for men and women, there are times when certain archetypes, which is it, the structure, the psychic forces that we all have, different, these innate ancestral energies that we have there running our psyche. There are times where there's a Demeter calling you to do something, or you might have a Hera, or you may have an Aphrodite, which is the goddess that is running, or there might be two or three at the same time. If at this time you've been an Aphrodite all your life, but now you have a different call, you're more of a Demeter, or you're more of a Hera, and you want to be staying home and looking after your family, that's also totally fine. And society has problems with those who want to stay home and prioritize family, mental health, and other things, because that compensates somehow for other things. So also listening to what is the archetypal force, the archetypal structure, psyche element that is running you, and accept that, because the more you fight against it, the more it tries to present. Then the shadow side of it, the negative aspect of the archetype, is going to pop up and it's going to make your life a misery. It's not going to go any quicker, the process. And this is also what we find difficult to accept, that maybe I'm on a hiatus, and even though I'm not static, the forces are not going where my head is saying, but it's where the soul is asking to be going towards. So
But I think also the thing you say about things can change. What I
yes,
think today that my goal is, like what I really want is this thing, but it can actually change. It
yes,
can actually, something's happening during a period of your life and things change because you have periods like in the beginning when you're young, you're thinking, yeah, I want kids, I don't want kids, I want marriage, I want a job. So things change, and allowing it to change. They're saying that the goal I have now might change. I don't think my goal will change, but it
yes, it might.
might be things that happen that kind of goes way off piste and then go like, okay,
Yeah, and another opportunity might come up, or it could be that everything you've been building then doesn't make sense anymore, and then that's
yeah,
okay as well, because it's a learning. Yeah,
it is.
Shinoda Bolin, that's it, the name, it just came now, Shinoda Bolin, because it's Jean Shinoda Bolin, and I was getting my
Yeah.
wires crossed. Yeah, right, I think we should wrap up, because we'll
Yeah.
be for the bit talking. I don't know how long, because there's no timing in here, but
No, I was looking as well, like, okay, I think we're kind of off the hour.
yes. So no, very interesting. Thanks for that, because the energies today were a little bit all over the show. Somehow, some weeks we are more clear on what we want to talk about. Other weeks it gets a little bit too set off. But yeah, and I guess that's due to the question mainly. But if
We
we
have
had,
the answer to the questions. I think
we
you
have
need to
so.
find that yourself.
So takeaways. What are your takeaways to wrap up?
My takeaways is that I think you need to ask yourself the question. I think that just starting is the first thing. Ask yourself the question. So where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you really want? And then give yourself both a breather and don't put pressure on yourself, but spend time on answering. If you journal, write it down. Say, okay, this is what I want to do. Say, okay, this is, and maybe things change, and that's perfectly okay as well. But it makes it so much easier if you just start asking yourself the question, because it's giving you the opportunity to make choices on behalf of what you really want, and it makes it easier to take choices and decisions.
Yes, sir.
So okay, yeah.
Okay, ma'am. And like the Americans say, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I think absolutely. And don't feel, I think what is key for me and maybe for many people is don't feel that you need to answer this straight away. I think my impulse is when, I suppose it's a teacher's default, when someone asks me a question, I need to have the answer straight away.
Yeah.
And in this case, you don't have to. As if it's lingering in your head, it's because it's an important question.
Yeah.
And just don't get annoyed.
Don't get mad at me.
Don't get mad at the messenger. No, it was like, really, he doesn't know, and then maybe it's not clear what I'm doing, I was still going back to that. And yeah, but I suppose that's what you get with friends as well, is that you expect your friends to know you as well as your parents. And even if even you don't know yourself 100%, how is anybody else going to know you? And if your friend cannot ask you these uncomfortable questions, and she wouldn't be a real friend, she would just be saying all the time, yeah, well done. And then that
But I
wouldn't
think
happen.
I know a lot about you, but still, again, it's like for you to know the essential question or the answer that is just helping you. And that was kind of when we're kind of bit back and forth, maybe just asking you the question, even though it was probably not the funniest question to get.
In another couple of months to ask again.
Yeah. So it was meant in the best intentions
I
possible.
know.
Yes.
I know. And the way you asked as well, what do you really want? I just sort of little Lucifer Morningstar. What is it that you truly desire? So if you haven't seen it, people watch it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's
Really
good.
cool. It's really, I'm using these on my courses as well, because it's so clear when we're talking about the persona in the shadow, what this character represents, and asking about the desires, the unconscious mind is the archetypal. So yeah, it's fantastic. Anyways, so very
Yeah.
good. We'll wrap up now. So people, follow us, share, like, comment. Please comment. If you don't comment, we cannot. We have to keep thinking of our own podcast titles. But yes, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you, Alicia. It was good. And for the people following, send us questions, comments, likes, whatever, subscribe. But it's really nice to hear from our followers, and just if they have, or if you have some questions you would like us to discuss, or if you want to join us, maybe we'll have some guests
Maybe
on
one
the
day
podcast. Yeah.
we'll have a bit more movement. Maybe we could do a live session one day and answer some questions as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That'd be nice. Okay, so let us know. And
Yes.
until next time, enjoy life and keep thinking of what do you truly desire
In life.
in life.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.